1 ball and no strikes. Pitch on the way. There's a shot to Dansby. He slides to it. He's got it. Throws over. There is a new champion of the National League, and it is the Atlanta Braves. They have won the 2021 National League pennant, and the Atlanta Braves are going to the World Series. They are celebrating on the field. They have dethroned the 106-win Dodgers, and for the first time since 1999, the Atlanta Braves are going to the Fall Classic. Let's go to Houston, Texas, Joe Simpson.
Yes, sir, Bob Dixie. Houston, you have a problem. The Braves are coming.
Welcome, big-time Dynasty League owners, and what do you know? Our Atlanta Braves, that's right, this league's team, whether you like it or not, are Atlanta Braves fans, and our Atlanta Braves are facing a Game 1 in the 2021 Fall Classic World Series. Can you believe it? Going against the cheating Houston Astros, and while this is a fantasy football weekly recap, it would be crazy to not shout out our Atlanta Braves, and the juices are flowing. Hope to get this out for first pitch tonight in Houston for Game 1. Can you believe it? Braves in the World Series, and I can't explain to you how amazing it feels. But let's dive in. Week 7 was a crazy week in our league. We have some risers and some fallers for sure, and we still have an undefeated team. Shout out to Team Snip Snap. Jordan Smith Lions team goes to 7-0 on the season. And with that said, let's move right into the power rankings. And we definitely have some movers going on. At the very top, though, nobody's moving. Nobody's dethroned the number 1 team in the power rankings. Snip Snap at 7-0, number 1. Number 2, Lance Batiste's Scranton Stranglers moves into the number 2 spot at 4-3. Then we have Bums from the Dock at 5-2 at number 3 in the power rankings. And number 4, Knights of the Night at 4-3, followed by Uncle Creepy's with a 5-2 record at number 5. And then myself, Killer Instinct at 3-4. Then Big Boobs at 4-3, still getting disrespected with a 3-4 team in front of him. However, it is very close. Then at the number 7 spot, the 8 spot, we have Prison Mike at a 3-4 record, and then JT at 0-7 at number 9, and Jans Cans at number 10. We'll talk more about this week after the rundown, but without further ado, let's dive right in.
Hey, you know what? Do you have a rundown that I could take a look at just so I know what type of rundown you're looking for?
Just keep it simple.
Keeping it simple, that's what I'm doing. But I am working hard on this one, real hard.
You're working hard on this?
No, not too hard, not harder than I should.
Right. I mean, why work harder than you should?
No.
All right, let's get into the Thursday night matchup in our league for Week 7. That's number 10, Jans Cans, 0-6, going to number 8, Prison Mike at 2-4, and that was a wallop. Prison Mike scoring 179 on the week to Jans Cans 100.14, just barely breaking the 100-point threshold. Mac Jones gets to start for Prison Mike and puts up a respectable 24 points. Then you have his 2 bell cow running backs, Jonathan Taylor with 16 and Alvin Kamara on a Monday night, carrying the Saints to a win. 33.9 points in a dominant performance by Kamara. Christian Kirk gets 15. Mike Evans shows up this week, gets 32. And Jamar Chase with 200 receiving yards with 35 points. Hunter Henry gets 10 points, and Miles Sanders with only 3, and Julio Jones with only 5. And those two fellows, Miles Sanders and Julio Jones, believe it or not, are the only two people outside of his kicker to not score double digits. That's why he dominates over James Cairns. Patrick Mahomes has a terrible week and gives out with an injury, has 5 points. Aaron Jones with only 8, but gets 14 from Devontae Booker. A.J. Green with 10, and McCole Hardman again in your lineup, and a fumble. What is you doing with only 3.8 points? Mo Alley Cox with 11, Khalif Raymond and Kendrick Bourne are two of your highest scoring players on your team, and when that happens, you ain't getting no dub. On to the Sunday 1 p.m. game. Number 3, Scranton Stranglers at 3-3, going on the road to JT at 0-6, and JT does put up a decent, solid performance, with Scranton Stranglers scores 163 for a 163-128 win. Aaron Rodgers with 24. It feels like Aaron Rodgers scores about that every single week. DeAndre Swift with a monster game at 30 points. Then you have Corey Davis scoring 14. A.J. Brown, welcome back, with 28. Travis Kelce gets 13. And the newly acquired Chris Godwin with 25 points. And not many clunkers on his team. Darrell Henderson almost gets 10. And then Rondale Moore with only 3 points. Other than that, those are the only two guys outside of his kicker that does score double digits. On the other side, Jalen Hurts, 22 points. Elijah Mitchell with 16. Michael Carter now with a few solid weeks in a row with 15 points. Cortland Sutton with only 11. Devontae Smith with only 11. And Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 163 yards. How you doing in a win in Miami at 23.3 points. And Koo, his kicker, getting 12 points, but not quite enough. He falls to 0-7. Scranton Stranglers falls to 4-3. Moves to 4-3, and on to the 4 p.m. matchup where we have number 5, Killer Instinct, myself at 3-3, going on the road to the number 1 team, Snipsat at 6-0, and what could have been a defeat for Team Snipsat. He gets the win, 146-128. Jordan's Snipsat moves to 7-0. Lamar Jackson getting 23 points. Derrick Henry is kind of tamed at 16 points. For him this season, that is not that much. Joe Mixon with only 11. Rashad Bateman with 11. And Michael Pittman at 21.5. And DK Metcalf with 19.6. Josh Jacobs with 15.8 points. And he just gets solid performances all the way around. Even his only player to not get double digits, Chuba Hubbard, almost does with 9.6 points. On the other side, myself, Sam Darnold with only 2.44 points and getting benched for PJ Walker against the terrible New York Giants. What is you doing, baby? Antonio Gibson with only 6.6. Devontae Adams with 19. Terry McLaurin with 27. Calvin Ridley with 12. And Jalen Waddle with 15.3. There are some solid performances, but also some clunkers. Tyler Higbee doesn't scratch double digits. Antonio Gibson doesn't scratch double digits. And started Sam Darnold over Tom Brady. You deserve to lose. Moving to Sunday Night Football, number 7, Big Boobs at 4-2, going on the road to the People's Elbow at also 4-2. And this is definitely the matchup of the week and maybe of the year. Kyler Parkinson's bums from the dock / the People's Elbow with 136.58 to Jake's 136.20 and a .38 point victory. Jameis Winston on Monday night doesn't really do a whole lot, getting only 15 points. Myles Gaskin gets 17, and Cooper Kupp just carrying the team on his back with 38.6 points. Tyreek Hill with a modest 12. Dallas Goedert with 12. DeAndre Hopkins with 18. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the team is named after him temporarily for a week. It is a last-minute scratch with no points, and he still gets a .38 point victory over Jake's Big Boobs, who moves to 4-3 on the year. Matt Stafford with a big game and 29 points. Damian Harris with 25. Darrell Williams with 8. Nelson Aguilar with 13. And Leonard Fournette, regular season Lenny with 17, but does not get good performances from Marquez Callaway, Gerald Everett, J.D. McKissick, all under 10 points, and ultimately it gets the very unfortunate, unlucky loss and on to Monday Night Football in our league, number 6, Knights of the Night at 3-3, going to Team Uncle Creepy's at 5-1, and Uncle Creepy sort of wets the bed. This Knights of the Night only scores 121, but gets the victory anyway, moving to 4-3. Kyler Murray with 24, Melvin Gordon with 11, Cordero Patterson with 14, Robert Woods with 15, Hollywood Brown with 19, Robert Tonyan with a big game at 16 points, and his kicker, Nick Folk, with 12, does not get any points from Westbrook Ikine of the Tennessee Titans, and also does not get much from Darnell Mooney. Other than that, pretty solid performances all the way around. Uncle Creepy's does not break 100 and moves to 5-2 as Ryan Tannehill with 20 points, Deebo Samuel with 20 points, and Mike Gesicki with 21 points. And outside of those guys, no double-digit points. Mike Davis with 1 lone point. Ramondre Stevenson gets the start and doesn't get anything on the week. Tim Patrick, Noah Fant, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Boyd, all under 10 points. And that is your weekly rundown. Well, okay. Week 7 had some really close games. Obviously, maybe the closest matchup in this league, probably maybe history. 0.38 points is the margin of victory for Kyler's Bums from the Dock, the People's Elbow this week over Jake's Big Boobs. Unfortunate loss for Jake. Big win with a player who was a late scratch, still getting the win. Sometimes it just goes that way. So Kyler, good job on your team. And that moves me to the league standings. But before we do that, nobody scores the side pot jackpot of $195 this week. So again, that rolls over to this next week. The side pot now is $140. Someone has got to get to it. We've had a couple of teams really close, and so we'll see what happens. But moving to the league standings, Jordan on top with 7 wins in a row. By far, not even close, the biggest winning streak of the season. Then Bumps from the Dock with that big win now moves into the number 2 spot over Frank's team, Uncle Creepy's, at number 3 at 5-2. Then Lance is the number 1 of the 4-3 teams at number 4 at 4-3. Then Jake at 4-3, Big Boobs, number 5. And then Knights of the Night at 4-3 at number 6, Nathan Pierce's team. Number 7, Matt Washon's Prison Mike at 3-4 over myself, also at 3-4, Killer Instinct. And then rounding out the very, very bottom, 0-7, JT at number 9, and 0-7, Jans Cans at number 10. JT, last couple weeks, showing that his team may be improving, while Jans Cans is very, very just pathetic at 0-7. Sorry. All right, so anyway, with that being said, on to the next segment. You know how it is. You know how it goes. Matt, take it away.
Paul Johnson right there. Ruined our program, but that's all right. He's still here.
Ruined the program award this week. It was going to be very close depending on the Sunday night matchup between Jake and Kyler. However, Kyler got the win. So I feel like this award is a pretty easy decision this week. Myself, Killer Instinct, started Sam Darnold at cornerback against the New York Giants, a bad football team, and gets benched. He is healthy and gets benched late in the game and scores 2.44 points. Projected to get 18.65. I mean, if he just gets that, I beat Jordan, team sip, snap, give him his first loss, but I don't. Sam Darnold looks terrible, and he scores 2.44 points. So Sam Darnold, you ruined the program this week. Well done.
I'm just saying that you can't be sure that it wasn't you.
That's ridiculous. Of course it wasn't me.
Marijuana is a memory loss drug, so maybe you just don't remember.
I would remember.
Well, how could you if it just erased your memory?
That's not how it works.
Now, how do you know how it works?
Knock it off. Okay, I'm interviewing you.
No, you said that I'd be conducting the interview when I walked in here. Now, exactly how much pot did you smoke?
All right. This is the second week of our guest interview on the weekly recap, and I am very happy and proud to announce the owner of the Scranton Stranglers and our only Falcons season ticket holder in our league, Lance Batiste. Welcome to the weekly recap, Lance. How are you doing?
I am good, man. I can't believe I'm the only Falcons season ticket holder, as many Falcons fans as we have in this group, but I am proud to be one, even though they don't make us proud all the time. We got the dub this week, though. That's good.
We did on the road in Miami, and you were actually there in person, and also kudos to you for putting your money where your mouth is, unlike the rest of us fools.
Well, y'all got the Braves and do all that. I'm not dropping $1,200 on a World Series ticket. So.
I hear you. I'm still on the fence, but we'll see. Look, Lance, you came off a big win. You're now 4-3 in the power rankings. You're almost at the very top in our league standings. You're also in the top 4 spots. If the playoffs were to start today, you would be in it. You always put together a strong team. You have 3 losses on the season, but you are actually number 3 in the league in points scored, so a dangerous team to say the least. Here, almost at the midway point of the season, what are your strengths of your team, and what would you say your Achilles heel is at the moment?
Man, I'm strong everywhere. No, I'm just kidding. Kinda. I actually feel like my strengths are my running backs right now, man. Najee and Swift are killing it for me. You know, just gotta keep throwing those guys out there. As long as Swift keeps catching passes. My weakness is, man, I just got a bunch of average wide receivers, with the exception of maybe A.J. Brown. I don't know, man. And my guy Jerry Jeudy being on the injured reserve is just waiting for him to come back. But I feel like my team is pretty strong. You know, some weeks they show up, some weeks they don't. I feel like I'm at the top of the projections every week, and then they just kind of don't show up. My biggest Achilles heel in this league is Frank. Honestly, I wish he would just bow out already. You know, because I feel like I can never beat him, but it is what it is.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Looking at the schedule, your last game of the season is against Frank. So that could be an interesting game. But
I didn't even look at that.
Games,
it makes me angry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Your next 3 games, though, you got Matt's team, Prison Mike. You got Jake's team, Big Dudes. And then you have Nathan's team, Knights of the Night. So a pretty decent schedule for your next 3 weeks. What are you hoping?
Yeah,
Where are you hoping to finish at the end of the next 3 weeks? You think you can win all 3 of them?
Oh, yeah, that's the hope, to get all 3 wins. Definitely want to beat Jake. I should, Josh Allen's coming back this week for off a bye, so I don't know how he's going to play this week for Matt, and so I'm a little concerned about that. Nathan's team, I really want to beat him because I feel like I've traded him a few of my players, and I just kind of want to stick it to him. I think that would be nice. But, it'd be nice if I could play Toby every week. It'd be nice if I could play James Cans every week, but it just don't work out that way. It is what it is.
Don't we all, Lance?
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough when I see them going up against somebody who's not that good, and then they score like 120 points and win, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? But you know how it is. It is what it is. It's fantasy football, man.
Well, speaking of trade, before we get off, I've only got a couple more questions for you. Speaking of trade, you made a big trade with myself this past week, and I feel like I'm slightly regretting it at the moment, as Chris Godwin this past week kind of went off for 25 points, and even T. Higgins put up a decent game, and Calvin Ridley kind of met it. So how do you feel about that trade? You feel good?
Well, a little bit, yeah, because Calvin Ridley's I like Calvin, man. He's a Falcon, of course. I'm always going to root for him, and that was hard, letting go of a Falcon. But the reality is, man, he can't catch a contested catch to save his life. I mean, I swear if the defender blows on him too hard, he's dropping the ball. And so Godwin had a good showing. I'm not a Godwin fan, but he showed up this week. And then T. Higgins had like 15 targets, man. And I'm not you've tried to give me T. Higgins like 18 times, and I've said I don't want him. And then finally I took it. So, yeah, I'm feeling decent, man. I'm not like overly ecstatic about it like I've been in the past with other trades, but I feel good about it.
All right. Well, I think you won that trade, at least so far. We'll see what happens the rest of the year, but I kind
Right.
of wish I at least got that first round back from you. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
it is what it
appreciated
is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave with the question that I asked Jordan last week. Do you have a message to any specific owner or the owners of this league before we sign off here on this interview? You got anything to say to your fellow league mates?
To my fellow league mates, let me see who do I want to call out today. Well, not to be too personal, I'm gonna call out Matt Wishon. I'm gonna call out your team because I play you this week. And all I care about is a week in front of me. You know, I'm on to the next Sunday. I don't think too far ahead. I think about right now. And I'm coming for you, man. I believe your team is going to go down to the Scranton Stranglers. And so just get ready for it, bro, because I'm about to put the whooping on you. I plan this week on you, just on you to score 195, get the side pot.
Oh,
that is my plan to do to you this week. Not only to beat you, but to make sure I score the most points, get the side pot, so it's a double whammy. You get a loss, then you realize you can't get the side pot that you thought you were going to get.
Oh,
this week. So
man.
that's the goal.
That is, I love it. I love it, Lance. I love it. Let's see what happens. You definitely have the team to do that, so we'll be looking out for that matchup. Thanks for the time, Lance. I appreciate it. Have a great one.
Yeah, man.
Take care.
Appreciate it, Jay.
Mike, what's the very, very worst thing about prison?
Don't encourage him, Dwight.
The worst thing about prison was the Dementors. They were flying all over the place, and they were scary, and then they'd come down and they'd suck the soul out of your body, and it hurt.
Dementors like in Harry Potter?
No, not Harry Potter. There are no movies in prison. This is my point. You guys got it soft and cushy. This place is freaking awesome. The people are awesome. Your boss is nice. Everybody seems to get along. People are tolerant. People who have jumped to conclusions can redeem themselves. Nobody's bitch. I hope that this scared you. And from me, Prison Mike, to you, I just want to thank you for listening to me and letting me be a part of your life today. Because you got a good life. You got a good life.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me.
Big time shout out and kudos for the second time this season. Matt Wishon's Prison Mike gets the top scoring team of the week at 179.58 points. Big time performance from his team, as every single player on his team gets double digits except Miles Sanders and Julio Jones, which who would have thought that heading into the season that would be the case, but strong performances. In fact, Matt gets 3 guys over 30 points this week, and he just rolls over James Cans for an 80-point win. Congrats, Prison Mike. You were the top scoring team of the week. And with that said, let's move into the top individual performers of the week. Joe Burrow at quarterback, top scoring quarterback. Nathan Pierce's quarterback, 31.6 points, followed by Matthew Stafford. Jake's Big Boobs at 29.2, his quarterback, and then Tua Tagovailoa at 26.5 points. That's what happens when you play the Atlanta Falcons. Lance's quarterback in the 3 spot. Moving to running back, Alvin Kamara with a monster game on Monday night. Matt's running back at 33.9 points, followed by DeAndre Swift, Lance's running back, with a big game at 30.4 points. And then Jake's Damian Harris. Welcome to the top performer segment for the first time this year. Damian Harris with 25.3 points. In the wide receiver spot, I mean, this guy he might as well just camp out here every single week because he's in it. Cooper Kupp, top scoring wide receiver again this week, 38.6 points at Kyler's wide receiver, followed by Jamar Chase with 35.1 points, Matt's wide receiver. And then the other receiver Matt has, Mike Evans at 32.6 points, the number 3 wide receiver. At tight end, the top scoring tight end of the week is on the waiver wire. CJ Uzoma at 26.1 points, followed by the Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts at 23.3 points, Jonathan Turner's JT, and then Mike Gesicki, the number 3 scoring tight end Frank's Team Uncle Creepies at 21.5 points. And what do you know? The top 3 scoring kickers of the week, all on the waiver wire. Austin Siebert, Cleveland Browns, 15 points. Graham Gano, New York Giants, 15 points. And Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals at 13 points. Those are your top performers of the week. Big week 7 we just had, and things are changing. Power rankings are moving. League standings are shifting and changing. We've got some big matchups this week. Can't wait to talk about that and show the TV schedule for the week. Have a great week, everyone. We will know a lot more about this World Series at the next recap. Hopefully, the Braves are either sweeping the Astros or at least have a decisive lead. Go Braves, and good luck to everyone this week. Talk to you later.
Where'd you get that matching beans with them windows tinted? Who them girls you be with when you be riding through? Man, I ain't got nothing to prove. I paid my dues, breaking the rules and shake fools while I'm taking the cruise. Tell me who's your...
Well, you think having a 37-year-old...
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.